Welcome back to Wallet Monkey, where we talk about all things credit and personal finance. Our goal here is to help give you all the credit intel you need to not only build relationships with the banks and establish yourself there, but also build your personal credit profile. Let's dive into it here. What I want to talk about today is 3 simple ways that you can boost your credit score, like the 3 fastest, simplest ways to boost your credit score today. We're not talking about removing inquiries. We're not talking about, filing letters and disputes and all that. That stuff works. We're talking about 3 simpler ways. And so where am I deriving this from? Let's start there. All right, if we scroll down, this is one of the many pages on Wallet Monkey, free resource, completely free for you to help you understand personal credit, business credit, etc. We know that how much you owe and account balances account for or represent 30% of your credit score, as we see here. And we can bust out the pie chart, and you guys should know this by now, okay? So what that means is essentially our utilization, the amount of the percentage of our balance accounts for 30% of our overall score. So if we have anything over a 30% utilization, then you can expect your score to be pretty sizably affected, right? The golden number here is actually 9% utilization or less. A lot of people are at 1 or 2% utilization. Now, that doesn't matter if you have access to or a pool of over $100,000 or over $1 million in credit cards. But if you have $10,000, then, using $100 or less per month is not really in the question, especially right now during these times. So how can we instantly thin this out? Well, I got 3 ways for you. Probably by far the simplest way, let's start with number 1, is to become an authorized user on somebody else's account. Now, before you go doing this, understand 2 things. The new FICO 10 model is going to dilute the power of authorized users because people have been abusing it. People resell authorized users. It's getting a little scummy, getting a little scammy, right? And then the second thing is make sure that these people are not using this card. Make sure that they've got it at like really low utilization, 2%, 3%, and they're not gonna change that while you're on the account. Because the minute they change that and go run up 20, 30% and leave that for the next statement date, then your credit score is negatively affected. But what this does is this puts your name on their account and their account starts showing up on your credit score. So this makes it look like you've got access to more money, aka your overall allocation or amount of money you have access to is greater than it actually is. So then when we come to calculating the utilization, your utilization is going to immediately drop. And since that accounts for 30% of your score, you guessed it, your score goes up. Next way that I know of to do this is to get trade lines. Now we cover trade lines pretty extensively. This is like basically online accounts. This is My Jeweler Club. This is Mameli, Get That Jewelry, Ligos, all of the ones that are still existing. This is also credit builder accounts. So this is your Self Inc. This is your Credit Strong. This is your Upgrade. Those report as installment loans, but work pretty similarly. And so with a lot of these, you can get access to a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 trade line. Well, of course, that's going to interest a lot of people. Whether you got good credit or bad credit, is if you need to thin out your utilization, then that is a very valuable thing for you to use immediately. And then the third way that I've got for you is to leverage these store credit cards in a different way than you're probably used to hearing about. So we know that the 2 big players are Comenity and Synchrony, right? And each one of them kind of has their own system of doing things. And Synchrony leverages Advantage 3 pretty heavily, especially when it comes to giving credit limit increases. Like Amazon Card, most of the primary store cards done through Synchrony will look at your Advantage 3 to give you a credit limit increase. So make sure your Advantage 3 looks good. There's the trick there. Secondly is with Comenity, to cover that for a second, is within most of their cards, because they use the same login, the same back end essentially, even though you're logging into your IKEA, your Vicky Secret, Abercrombie and Fitch, whatever you got, right? Is that they've got that, they call it the love button on the forums, but it's essentially the credit limit increase button. And that you can hit as many times as you like. But when you get a brand new account, the trick here is you just get approved for a brand new account. You go in there and you hit the credit limit increase, and a lot of times you find that you get a sizable increase. We're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. To get a $5,000 to $10,000 store credit card is very possible, and that would also thin out your file. That also, the reason why I mention this is because those of you that are in kind of the lower brackets, the fair to good credit scores, is you have a higher chance of getting these store cards, which we talk about all the time on this channel. By going and trying to get a Comenity or a Synchrony, I don't know which one's better. I've had better luck personally with Comenity, so I guess my bias is there, but it's up to you. Getting one of those cards and then immediately getting thousands of dollars on that card, and then just don't use it. Okay, there's the other trick. Don't use it, so then that thins down the rest of the other cards that you are trying to use, right? So to instantly come in and throw a $5,000, $10,000 credit card or trade line or store card on your file will immediately thin down your utilization. It will also allow you, if you've been hesitant with using like your good cards, like you got a Discover and American Express over here and you can't really use it a lot because you're afraid of utilization getting too high. Well, now that you just introduced this new trade line that you're not going to use, it's just going to sit there to essentially thin out your file, then now you can go and use that. So it opens up a lot of options for your credit profile, and that's some easy stuff you could do almost immediately. Some of this absolutely immediately. Some of this you're going to have to do a little planning and working on before you do it. But there you go, 3 simple ways to boost your credit score right now by thinning out your utilization, which represents 30% of your credit score. All right, that's all I got for you, my friends. If you like this, hit the like button, help us do the algorithm dance. And then if you want to comment below, you got something to say, you've got experience doing this, go ahead, please comment, helps the community grow, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification, be on the lookout, more videos coming soon. See you.